far, and I wanted to share a few tips with you guys about how we do a budget and still are able to eat healthy and clean. Just a few tips. For us, the first thing we do is we menu plan everything. So every week I sit down with a notepad and pen and paper and Pinterest, and I menu plan my dinners, my breakfasts, down to my snacks. For me, that helps me to not only eat healthy, but then once I have everything on paper about what we're going to eat, um, I don't go into the store thinking, oh, well, maybe we'll need this, maybe we'll need that. I know exactly what we need for the week. Obviously, things come up, life happens, so you roll with it sometimes. But in general, when we menu plan, we stick to our list. We're able to save money because we only buy what we need for that week. Um, Second, we do coupon a little bit. It is hard to find sometimes coupons for healthier foods, but like last week, I was able to use a coupon for a bag of cutie oranges and some kiwis. So keep your eyes open for, and in the paper. A lot of times we throw that junk mail handout that comes in the mail away, but there are good coupons in there sometimes. And online, actually, if you look at some coupon sites, they could have some good options too. A big one that we try to do is to cook what we have on hand. So as tempting as all of those fun exotic recipes are, don't do them every week. So you don't want to make 3 different kind of meat recipes in one week. You're going to end up spending a lot of money on meat, or whatever it is that's expensive. So if we have a lot of chicken in the freezer, we make a lot of chicken that week. If we have a lot of squash or anything, we might eat a little more vegetarian one week. Or if I have a big roast in the freezer, we have roast a couple nights. So I look in my fridge and my freezer and my pantry. I try to see what I have on hand, whether it's what I have in hand grain wise, meat wise, produce wise, and then build my menu around that. That way I don't go to the store thinking, oh, well, let's get this, let's get that, because it's just going to sit in your freezer. You can't make everything in one week, and it gets expensive. We also, I know some people don't like leftovers, but we really like leftovers, and it does help to cut down on costs. I try to factor in a dinner of just week leftovers at least once a week. So sometimes we have it more often, but I do have a leftover night once a week where we'll eat whatever we have left over from the meals before. And then we eat a lot of leftovers for lunch, so I'll send leftovers with my husband to work in his lunch. I'll eat them at home. It's a great way to not have to cook, save some time and save some money. The other thing that goes kind of back to the menu planning is just the importance of making a grocery list and sticking to it. I make a grocery list every week right after I menu plan. I look through the recipes, everything, make sure I have all the essentials on there, and then any odd things that I need, from what I'm making for dinner. And then the key thing is remembering your grocery list when you go to the store. Last week I did, case in point, make it to the store and realized I had left it at home. So I was like, oh, I can remember it. I didn't remember everything I needed, and I ended up coming home with stuff I didn't. So probably would have saved some money if I would have actually brought the grocery list with me. And a couple of just little things, like if you have infants or anyone at home that you need to make special food for, I make my own baby food. It's so much cheaper. I bought an acorn squash for like 48 cents, and I made, 2 ice cube trays of baby food from it. Whereas you're lucky to find a jar of squash for 68 cents of store-bought baby food. So it really does add up to use your overripe fruits, kind of, or like ones that are right on the border, or just in general, buying your own foods and then making them at home for the babies. They're great. So if you're in that position, and we also, like, if you have overripe berries or bananas, we freeze a lot of our produce, even spinach, and we put it in smoothies. And that way we don't have to spend money on buying frozen fruits, which add up. We just get a thing of bananas, even if they're a little green, we let them ripen, chop them up, and put them in the freezer. Same with berries in the summer, anything like that. So those are just kind of our tips for how my family and I eat clean and while we're on a budget. There's lots of other tips in the group being posted, so I hope you feel free to ask questions and take it or leave it. It's up to you. These are just what works for us. but have a great day. Thanks.